Hello, all you beautiful people. Welcome back to Smoky Mountain Gaming Studios. I don't need this thing anymore. I actually got the little handy lapel mic on today. Happy Balanced Dataslate Day to you. Victory. Ask me, a lot of things have changed. A lot. You don't have to ask me. You've obviously seen for yourself, and well, I assume you've all seen for yourself. Anyways, let's take a look at what's happened and stuff. I'm going to start by going over the rules commentary. Not much has changed on it. The parts that were changed, luckily they went ahead and highlighted in red for us. So they listened to us. Thank goodness for that. And at least started highlighting things. This change, it's on page 5 of the rules commentary. The eligibility to shoot. When equipped with ranged weapons, unless a rule specifically states otherwise, units that have shot are no longer eligible to shoot until the start of the next phase. Now, the reason why they did this was because there's a couple of some POW players that were trying to say that unit is still eligible to shoot so they can chain their guided unit. But sensible players knew better, and that wasn't a thing. So, thank goodness. But now it's clear in the document for everybody. And then there's a couple other little things here. Let me try to find exactly where it was. Not much in here. Oh yeah, the vehicles with bases. When measuring to and from vehicles with bases, they're just trying to be really clear about that. It's only vehicles on bases. And just to pretty much make it so that people can't like move, block, and keep you out of the engagement range. Because, oh, you're into the hole, so it doesn't count. You have to be on the base, or some bullshit like that. Like, no, that's not right. But that's pretty much that right there. They also, I want to say there was something else. Nope, that's everything on the 18-page document. Cool. Hey Mike, thanks for joining. I appreciate you coming in. Wolf Chicken indeed. Wolf Chicken indeed. Are you guys ready to check out the balanced data slate? This is the important. The autumn balanced data slate. A lot of changes have happened. It's pretty big. The first thing that's changed is to the core rules. They changed devastating wounds. Now, devastating wounds used to, on a critical wound, would just deal out mortal wounds equal to the damage of the weapon. Now they changed it so that instead of becoming mortal wounds, it just takes away the armor. Well, it takes away all save. So you can't take any kind of save for the attack. Kind of good, kind of bad. It's a change. It's a change. It's going to make it so that dev wounds won't just wipe out a whole unit of one wound models because they spiked on their critical wound. You know, so I think it's a good change. We'll see. Also they did a little rules clarification about stratagems that cannot be used more than once per phase. Some rules would allow you to use a stratagem even if another unit has used that stratagem this phase or turn, but do not specify the name of the stratagem. It can only be used to use battle tactics. Okay. Feel no pains are fine. You still get feel no pains, Mike. It's not feel no pains. It doesn't do mortal wounds. So, like, say the Wraith Knight comes up to you and he shoots your unit of knobs, because I know you're going to have a unit of knobs, at least one unit of knobs with gas in it. or sorry, Mega Knob. Anyways, so if a Wraith Knight shoots you and they get that mortal wounds, instead of the 2d6 damage weapon, I believe it is, instead of doing mortal wounds, we'll just go straight into one of your Mega Knob without them having to save at all. So it's better because it's not mortal. And if they have a feel no pain, then you know if he rolls their 2d8 and it's 7 damage, then you have 7 feel no pain. But it's all on just one mob. So that's why I was saying it's a good change. It's not a huge. They didn't just start taking dev wounds out of certain units or anything like that. The only thing they did was just change it so that the dev wounds just cut through armor. This change really screws up Custodies, because Custodies, their big defense was the 4-up feel no pain versus mortal wound. Dev wounds was 90% of the mortal wounds that were caused in 10th edition. So whenever it stops becoming mortal wounds, then their army rule starts kind of sucking. You know, so there's not going to be many people with mortal wound output out now. Then I think still some T-Suns. Wait, no, they do dev wounds. So pretty interesting. So yeah, not too much mortal wound output in the game, honestly, other than the dev wounds. But since they've taken out the devastating wounds, or well changed it, things are rather different now. Good day. Good day. Anyways, the like I was saying, the stratagems that can only be used more than once per phase per turn. They made those battle tactics better. So that ends up changing up quite a bit of things. Like you can't use a Space Marine captain or something like that to do the strategic ploy for firing Overwatch, because it's a strategic ploy, it's not a battle tactic. Definitely look at the stratagems again, because now it matters. Ooh, excuse me. But this is a good beer. In case everybody was wondering, I have myself a peanut butter milk stout by Left Hand Brewing Company. I'm not sponsored or anything, but I don't really care. This is really freaking good. I suggest everybody check out a good peanut butter milk stout. It's like having a peanut butter milkshake with some alcohol in it. It's so much better. Anyways, back to 40k. Insane Bravery has changed. You can now only use it once per game instead of just every time, and you have to use it before you take the Battle Shock test. So it makes it more impactful. You know, Battle Shock, just them changing this stratagem in and of itself, I feel like it's going to make Battle Shock a little bit more impactful. But I also feel like they should make it so that the Battle Shock step of the happens at like the end of the command phase. After. That way, if you get Battle Shocked by like your opponent shooting or something like that, it's a little bit more impactful. Right now, it's just a tiny bit more impactful with the stratagem changing, but not a whole lot. I feel like they could do more, but we'll see. There's also about modifying a stratagem CP cost. There are some units out there that have an ability called that a lot of people know as Vect. Okay, Vect was like a Drukhari guy that kills people's CP somehow, some shit like that. I don't know the lore. I mean, if Isaiah's in chat or something like that, I'm sure he can fill us in. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, the ability I'm talking about is whenever your opponent uses a stratagem and you have an ability to increase the stratagem that they use by an additional CP, the next time they use it and for the rest of the game. This changes it so that you can only use it on a... Let me see again. I think it's like you can only use it on a battle or something like that, or strategic ploy. They changed it. Check it out. You want to discuss the War Boss Mega Armor? Cheap? Well, yeah, orcs are great. Orcs got out like bandit. Orcs are looking really good right now, by the way. Yep, indeed. How's the music? Is it too loud, or is it too low? I do have some music on in the background. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I'm trying to make it so it's not blasting. Change the fire Overwatch stratagem so that now the unit has to be visible. There you change. And Titanic is huge, but Titanic restriction. Other than that, nothing else has changed. That's a big change. Because now, because of Wraith Knight, now regular Knights are not going to be able to fire Overwatch. So goodbye, Valiant. That's just a dead unit now. Especially whenever we get to points changes. I think it went up. Not 100% sure. I'm not too big on Knight points, to be honest. Did notice how little the Eldar had went up. So like you'll see. But you've already heard already. I hope you have, because if not, you should sit down, because I'll just break it to you now. Eldar is still going to be good. Do you have more of a fighting chance? Yeah, no, Gosh, it's a weird one. Onward. They also changed the ruins visibility, so that now powering models, or even aircraft models, can now hide behind ruins. And if you have the towering keyword, in order to shoot through the ruin, you just have to make contact with the base. Super simple. So now if you have a ruin right here and a knight right here, the knight won't be able to shoot you or get shot as long as it's back behind the ruin. But once it touches that ruin, it can shoot you and it can get shot. Simple enough. A great change. I feel like it should have been like that to begin with. I hated being able to shoot knights and them not being able to shoot you. And then just whenever towering came out in general, it's like knights can just shoot anything. They have range too. If their model can, boop, yep, I can see the antenna on that little ranger there. Yeah, boom, they're dead. And that wasn't really good for the game. I think this is going to be a good change for you. Yes, I'm sorry, Mike. There's no eggplant emoji, but I think there is shit emoji. So feel free to fill the chat with shit. I'd appreciate it. Anyways, speaking of Adeptus Custodes losing their buff from the Devastating Wounds change, they also changed some things here too. Their unwavering Sentinel stratagem. I believe that is the stratagem that allows them to fight first while they're like on objective or something like that. It's a 2 CP stratagem, and now it'll actually cost them 2 CP. because it's not a strategic deploy. And the way that they used to do it was they would have captains in their units, and those captains would use this stratagem that would allow them to fight first. So it made them a extremely easy to play brick army. Now GW decided they're gonna... Nice. Thank you for the poo, Mike. I appreciate that. Now GW also decided that no more custodian bricks. The custodian guard are now 4 to 5 man units. The custodian wardians are now 4 to 5 man units, and the Virtus praetors are now 2 to 3. So no more big giant 10-man blocks of custodians. Which, I mean, it's more thematic, but it's going to be a little bit easier and harder to play for the Custodes player. They're not going to get as much value out of their CP usage and stuff with their units being smaller, but it's definitely far more thematic, and I feel like they'll adapt and they'll still end up being pretty good, even though the devastating wounds change has really hurt them. Next up is the Adeptus Mechanicus. Whenever we go over the points for the AdMech, you'll see that they drop like crazy. Like I'd say, like a bunch of AdMech lists that probably went down a good 300 to 400 points. My tower list from earlier went down 260 points. So, but the changes they got was there's Scutari Rangers and Scutari Vanguard data sheets. They gave them a 4-up armor save and a 5-up invuln. Do not have Oling fans yet, Mike. I need to get some more fans to do it. I have the green screen, I got the cameras and shit. So, I mean, I should. So I had to get the fans. And I don't mean you guys. So thank you for joining me. But yeah, the AdMech, their battle line units got better. They gave them a decent armor save and an invuln, which is, Orc players know that 5-up invuln pretty nice. They get it all the time. Orcs only get it one round, but we're not talking about orcs. We don't want to talk about, we want to talk about orcs. We don't want to talk about orcs too loud, because if we talk about orcs too loud, GW will hear, and then next thing you know, the nerf battle come and it'll swing at the orcs. And that's the last thing anybody wants. I'd like to see the orcs get on top without the use of just buggy stuff. Anyways, onward. Eldari. This is the only change in the balanced data slate, other than the devastating wounds that affected the Eldari. Phantasm has changed to target only one Eldari infantry. Okay. So no longer the biker unit, no longer the Wraith Knight. They can't deal with any of the tank, any of the transports, anything like that. But Wraith Guard are still an infantry unit, so you know, that's a thing. Yeah, I would have honestly liked to have seen Phantasm go to like once a game. It's extremely powerful. Either that or 2 CP. You know, make you pay that autark pack. Just to use that one strategy. But alas, don't get me wrong, the nerf bat did come down on Eldar and stuff, but I don't think it came down with as much force as I feel like it should have. 2 black must have an Eldar that he just doesn't want to get hurt. He wants them to stay on the top, and I understand, you know, if I have a good army, I want to stay on top too. But alas. Agents of the Imperium. They changed the extraction squad data sheet from used to be a 5-man or a 10-man, and now it's just 10. Cool. People were using these like in Space Marine, well, just Imperium lists to kind of hold backfields and stuff like that. It's a really cheap unit. I forget exactly how much it was. I want to say like 35 points for a 5-man. And that's pretty good. Pretty good. Especially for just like holding a backfield objective, coming into a corner, doing some secondaries, you know, or whatever. I have Nurglings. I love Nurglings. So I know the value of a good 35-point unit. They also changed the war gear option, but no one's taking them anymore. Rest in peace, extraction squads. People will start taking, I think, like servitors or something else like that instead. Do their little cheap point, just throw away units to do actions and stuff like that. Yes. Raise a glass GW for this one. Death Guard. Guys, you didn't completely save the faction, but god damn did you do a good job, and you fucking tried. I'm excited about Death Guard now. You know, I was definitely worried about them before. But now they got some cool stuff. And a lot of points dropped. I heard it was like 15 to 20% across the board. Ooh. Like, love me some Nurgle stuff. And Papa Nurgle came and blessed these good boys and girls. So, Death Guard. What do they get? Their Spread the Sickness attachment ability has changed. But not in a bad way. It's an addition to. So it used to be, during the... Okay, sorry. What it used to be was that if you're in contagion range, you get like -1 time. You know, that's like how it was in 9th edition. And it was pretty good, pretty okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. There was definitely better army rules out there, for sure. But with 10th and then expanding the toughness from this to this, it kind of made that -1 toughness do this. It wasn't really that impactful. This, however, this is impactful. Okay. You got the Soul Swarm Blight Aura. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, during the declare battle formation step, so it's not like Doctrines or anything like that. It's kind of more like the Tyranids Invasion High Fleet, where you get to choose as soon as you know who your opponent is and what they bring and everything like that. You're like, okay, cool. I'm going to do Soul Swerve, or I'm going to do Rattle Joint, or Scavalrous Soul. All these are just sound wonderful. But anyways, you choose one of these, and until the battle, all units that are within your contagion range will also be affected by one of these sicknesses. Okay, the Soul Swarm Blight Aura is while an enemy unit is within contagion range of this unit, worsen the ballistic skill and weapon skill characteristics of weapons equipped by models in that enemy unit by 1. That is so awesome. I love that. Then you got the Rattle Joint Hog. or Auge, I don't know. It's a word. It's made up. All words are made up. While an enemy unit is within contagion range of this unit, worsen the save characteristics of models in that enemy unit by 1. That can be pretty big. And then there's the Scabrous Soul Rock. While an enemy unit is within contagion range of this unit, worsen the leadership and objective control characteristics of models in that enemy unit by 1 to a minimum of 1. You know, that one's a little bit more situational. I like the Rattle Joint is really cool, and the Skull Squirm is pretty awesome too. Like the Rattle Joint is pretty big, like against like Space Marines, Power Armor type things, and the Skull Squirm is also pretty good about getting to the same thing, but also things that are gonna hit you and hurt you. Now you gotta remember it's gonna be within contagion, so they're gonna have that -1 toughness as well. So yeah, it's not all. I'm loving Death Guard. I'm about to build me a Death Guard list, take a look at them. Spend more money on Warhammer. Death Watch. Rest in peace, Death Watch. They changed all their special ammunition rounds. In previous editions, the stratagems for the special ammunition rounds used to give them the same as it is now. Okay, but at the start of 10th edition, people were using the stratagems to affect like their las guns or some other stuff within the unit. Like, no, you can't do that. It has to be specific bolt weapon. So if you'll look on the list here, they go ahead and they list all the bolt weapons for you. Now there are some in there that don't have bolter in its name. It's weird, or just the word bolt in its name, like the long vigil ranged weapon or the vigil spear. They don't have bolter in the name or bolt anything. So they're at least nice enough to give you a nice list of what is considered a bolt weapon, so that there's no questions. It's like, can this las cannon use this stratagem? No, you cannot. Next up, Genestealer Cult. They changed the Cult Ambush army rule. That was where you could bring your battle line units back to life, or well, just thing like any unit, something like that. Now they've made it so that it's let me just read it to you. If your army faction is Genestealer Cults, each time a unit with this ability is destroyed, will roll 1d6, adding 1 to the result if it is a battle line unit, and adding 1 to the result if it is the first or second battle. On a 5-up, add a new unit to your army identical to the destroyed unit. In Cult Ambush, at its starting strength and with all of its wounds remaining, and you can place 1 Cult Ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. If it is not possible, no marker is placed. So they really cut down your efficiency to bring your units back. It's no longer like guaranteed battle lines coming back all the time. No, not quite. You get to add 1 if it's battle line unit, so it would be on a 4-up. All their units going to be on a 5-up unless it's the first or second battle round that they die. So it's going to be a little bit harder a little bit more inconsistent bringing back your unit with the Genestealer Cult. And you'll also notice there's going to be less units on the board for the Genestealer. They also made a change to the Atlan Jackals. I think they just made it so that you can actually set the models up on the board within their Cult Ambush marker. Because otherwise, I think with their oblong bases and things like that, it made it so that you ended up like leaving the guy behind or some shit like that. I don't play GSC. I'd like to, but so far I just got the combat patrol box and I've not even put it together yet. One day. Great night. some reason, changed the changed their Soulfire stratagem to a strategic ploy strategy. So they can definitely not use it with their one thing that allows a free stratagem use. They cannot use this one stratagem, which is the one that they would use. But not only that, Grey Knight's free CP strat usage thing is only once a battle. It's like, you really could have just kept that there. That wasn't a big deal. But whatever, you know. I get it. You know, nerfs. Everybody gets a nerf. You know, you get a nerf, you get a nerf, and you get a nerf. You over there, you get a nerf too. Everybody gets nerfed. It's fine. First time, you know, welcome to 40K. This is what we do. Just so good. Anyways, Imperial Knight. Poor boys. I'm sorry. They changed the Bondsman abilities so that it no longer affects the Questor's Knight. It just affects the Armiger model. That I believe it was like a -1 damage or whatever your Bondsman's abilities were. I'm not 100% sure. I have Chaos Knight. Sorry guys. Sorry Logan. I know you're out there. I hope you're watching. If not, I understand. But should be. Knights took a lot of hit. But I also feel like with the runes changes, they also kind of got a nice little hand up too, I feel like. But, you know, we'll see how it all plays out. You know, only time will tell. They also changed a lot of their stratagems. They changed the Trophy Claim stratagem and the Valiant Last Stand stratagem to 2 CP cost, and the Thunderstomp stratagem to an Epic Deed strat. So, the Thunderstomp one, I don't know if they have like a free CP guy. Wait, they do. Canis Rex. Canis Rex gives you a stratagem for 3, I believe. And I think now they make it so that it can only be Valiant Last Stand, or I don't know. Pat, help me out. If you know which one it is that you can do, then let me know. If not, then say, I don't know. But wait. Leagues of Votann. Alright. Leagues of Votann. They were doing not that good. But now, I think they're going to do better than Sisters of Battle. They're going to do better than Sisters. And Admin. So. Because Votann ended up getting a lot of good points drops across the board. I think a lot like Admech was about like all the way across the board, which is great. I've seen I've seen some people complain like, oh, I didn't think Votann was a horde army. Now they're turning them into a horde army. Like, no, they're not. Like, if you calculate all the points up and stuff, like, all right, cool. You got a unit of pioneers now. Like a big man unit of pioneers, but hey, you know, it's a unit of pioneers. Something. Anyways, changes to Votann. At the beginning of the battle, they're playing a strike force mission, which, you know, let's face it, all of us do. 1,000 points are kind of lame. 3,000 points are too fun. 2,000 points is where the game is bound, I feel. So if you're playing a strike force game, which, like I said, most of us are, that's what we do. You pick not 1, not 2, not 3, the 4 unit to get 2 Grudgment tokens on it. And the Judgment tokens, that allows the Votan to get unfortunately, a +1 to hit and a +1 to wound. Okay? +1 to wound is freaking nice. +1 to hit is a little annoying. I feel like it should have been ballistic skill, but alas, the dwarves are going to take any bones that are thrown at them at this point. You know, I feel like they've paid for their sins of ninth for as short-lived as it was, like already. So that's what they got, and I feel like that's a pretty big change. Like I said, we're going to see how it all shakes up and stuff over the next couple of months and everything like that. I'd say like the next balanced Dataslate is probably going to end up coming out in, I want to say January-ish. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. Okay, Space Marine. They got some changes too. They got a lot of points drops, like across the board and stuff, which I'll go through and we'll kind of look at. They fortunately highlighted everything in red. That is the changes. But Space Marines, the big change they did was they killed the Desolation Marines. The Nerf gun Marines are dead. Raise a glass. Pour one out for the homies. Whatever. They're no longer gonna be a big 10-man brick of bullshit. If you played them, you knew it was bullshit. So, and if you have 30 of them, I'm sorry now. You know, sell 15. Because that's all you can use. I won't take them. I honestly don't like the way the models look or anything like that. But hey, thanks for joining, Moldy Boss. Yeah, I'm happy to see that Votan getting some love. I got some Votan on the shelf back there. I need to throw some paint on and get them on the table. If not, I should at least talk to Derek and be like, "Hey, Derek, let me borrow your Votan that are nicely painted, so I can get them on the table. Get them dwarves on the table. Just get his ass down here." Yeah, hell. But anyways, Space Marines, Desolation Marines, they ended up going up in points. They were one of the few things that did go up in points. I forget what else did. Oh, no, that's the end of the document. Cool. That's a good way to end the document right there. The Desolation Marines going down to a 5-man. The combo used to be that I believe you'd had a lieutenant and a librarian or something like that in the Desolation Marine unit. And that would give them the critical hits on 5 and lethal, and then they give them sustained or something else like that. I think the sustained was from librarian, or was the lethal from the librarian? Their lethal was from lieutenant. I don't know. Mike knows. He went against some Desolation Marines, and they desolated 4 orcs. We're obviously Xenos and Chaos fans here. Don't get me wrong. Blood Angels was my first army. I love me some Blood Angels. Love me some Imperium too. I have some Custodes, got some Grey Knights. I haven't got to pick that. Anyways, you guys want to go over some points? You might as well. I've only been talking for about 40 minutes straight now. I can keep going. Okay, Minotaur Build Manual version 1.3. Luckily they have the all the pages numbered and everything for you. Like I was saying earlier, Tempest Sororitas, you know, the Sisters of Battle, they went down in points like across. Morganval went down like a good bit. So did the Paragon War suits, and which is a pretty good thing because those were the few things that actually had a punch in the army. So it's good to see, you know, that happening. The custodians, they end up getting a lot of point hype. Gee, I wonder why. You know, if you do really good at the beginning of edition, it happens. Yep, and they even changed the models for the points and things like that. Like the Allures Custodians have up to 6 models in them, Custodian Guard up to 5, 4s and 5s, Custodian Wardians, 4s and 5s. Prosecutors can go up to 10. So, yeah. None of the detachment enhancements changed any. Any of the points have been changed. But it's good to see them on the Minotaur, you know, so that they are poised and posed to change them if need be. Adeptus Mechanicus, they went down all over the place. There's a couple of things that weren't really touched. I think Belisarius Call, he stayed the same, though he should have went down. He didn't do anything before, so I think he would have been fine at 150 in the army. But alas, it is what it is. You know, maybe Stu's Eldar lost to Mechanicus midnight. And Death Guard and Votan. I figured it out, y'all. Figured it out. Stu Black owns Eldar, and he lost Admech, Death Guard, Votan in 9th edition. They are now paying the prices for the sins of a few. Damn it! Damn it, man! Come on! Adeptus Titanicus, nothing changed. No one cares. I ain't seen a Warhound Titan yet. I hope to, but I ain't seen one on the table yet. Probably won't get to either. Eldar. Okay, here's where a lot of nothing happened. Sure, they gave us Ceramon some more points. Autark got some more points, but not a lot. They're Eldar. They weren't costly to begin with. But the point, let's be honest, the points changes are a good thing, but I feel like they could have done more. Port weapons are now 125 points. Goodness gracious. That's insane. And with their change to Overwatch and stuff, I doubt we're going to see many more support weapons, many more decan support weapons, because they won't be able to Overwatch out of line of sight. And the change to death wounds as well. Night Spinner's 180 points now. I think the Fire Prism is 180 points as well. Yeah, so you're not going to see any more of them. Avatar Arcane, he went up, thank goodness, to 335 points. Still feel like that's a little cheap for him. The Incarn went up to 350 points. Again, I feel like that's a little cheap for her. She wrecked. He just bounces around the board and just eats face. But alas, you know, they like I said, they highlighted the changes in red for you, and there's a lot of black on the 100%. Everybody in this hobby agrees this is a problem army. then this is what you're gonna do. You're just I mean, it's a little bit more playable of a game now, with devastating wounds changing and stuff. But come on, YGWY. You know, this was supposed to fix the game. This was supposed to bring balance to the game, not destroy it. Damn it, Stu, you were the chosen one of GW, not us. We didn't choose you. I would choose Liam Dempsey. He'd tell you all it's bullshit. But anyways. Eldar Forge World. They increased the price of the Hornet, links, some other stuff. Blah blah blah. I can bitch about Eldar all day. I'm not going to. I don't want to. You know. Ages of the Imperium. They changed, like I said, the extraction squads, the Calidus assassin changed in points. Yeah, the extraction squad kind of sucks now. 110 points. Yeah, no. Poison at arms 50, 100. Yeah, they're just trying to make it so people aren't just picking up trash from like the Ages of the Imperium to throw in their list to do whatever. Astra Militarum, they end up getting a lot of I think points dropped across the board, other than some of their, I want to say, indirect stuff ended up getting some points hike here and there, because indirect's bad for the game. I don't know why they wouldn't just go back to the 9th edition indirect fire rule of one less ballistic kill and your opponent gets one better save. Just do that. That was great. There was no need to change that. Alas, here we are with it. Yeah, if you've not downloaded the Minotaur Field Manual, you know, definitely go on the Warhammer Community app, not the app, the Warhammer Community page, and go to downloads, and you'll see the first 3 downloads is the 3 documents that I'm going over right now. Also, please give me a like, subscribe, and all that good fun stuff. Feel free to share too, because I'm sure I'm entertaining somebody. I hope. Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, there's a lot of Astra Militarum stuff. The old Imperial Guard. Tanks and tanks and tanks and tanks and tanks. Black Templars. Black Templars are looking kind of interesting now. They went down in points across the board on a lot of different stuff. So it makes it a lot more interesting. Because you have Space Marines already have such a wide breadth of data sheet that whenever you start getting points drops, you can just add in so much fun little shit. Like, as soon as we get to the Blood Angels, I know what I'm going to be adding a lot in. Death Company. Because the Death Company with jump packs are now 130 point or 260 point for a 10-man unit. Yes, please. I'll take 30 of those. Segmentary Guard went down, I think, like 8 points a model. Still not quite enough, because the Segmentary Guard ended up losing their big buff of being of points per model. Points per model was a big buff for them, and not only that, well, not a big buff. Points per model was the best way to make them work, because too many of them cost too many points and it just overdoes a job that you don't really need them to. 5 of them doesn't quite do the job, and it just feels like a waste of because it's not doing the job that you need it. So like running about 7 to 8 Sanguinary Guard ended up being the thing in 9th edition. So which is why they were like 43 points a model at the beginning of 10th. I mean, I understand paying for the sins of the past edition and all that good fun stuff. But their big thing was they had to stay around the warlord. So if they're around the warlord, then they got their buff and they could do stuff. Now with this edition, you have to attach the leader to the unit and stuff. So only one unit of Sanguinary Guard is going to ever really see the table at once. But being at 350 points, I don't know. I have to give them a go with the old Sanguinor. He went down. He was... I forget how many points he was. He's down to 140 now. That's pretty good. So put him there next to the Sanguinary Guard, or with the Sanguinary Guard, and oh yeah. Is he a leader? I don't know. I have to look it up. Sanguinary Priest went down. Sanguinary Priest with Jump Pack went down. Also kind of staples. Dante went down. That's good. System looks like he went down. But it was got a bunch of drops. Love it. Chaos Demons, they weren't doing too bad in the meta. So they got a couple points hikes here and there. Some of their battle line ended up going down in points. Like the Bloodletters, they went from 160 to 140 points. I'm still not taking them at 140 points. Sorry. No. I'm not taking them at that. Demon Prince at 200 points is kind of spicy. Nurgling's at 35 points for a 3-man unit. Yes, please. Nurgling meta, baby. Peak Horrors, they didn't change any. Plague Bears, they went down some. Oxbringer went down. Like a lot of the Nurgle stuff went down. Which is just awesome. Because then you'll actually get to see a lot more Nurgle play. Nurgle's a cool aesthetic. Laxi Hellbane, she went up. I think Starbrand went up. Bloodthirster, Bellacore, Beast of Nurgles went up a little bit. Flamers went up as well. Flamers went up 15 points a unit, so 5 points per model. And I ended up changing up my list a little bit. I ended up dropping like the Exalted Flamer. I ended up increasing my amount of flamers in the list too, so it changed some stuff around and stuff, but it's not. It'll be okay. Points changes didn't really hurt too much. The change to Dev Wounds isn't really going to affect demons too much, to be honest, because for the most part we were running big monsters anyway, and Dev Wounds are mortal wounds. It doesn't matter. Well, we're not going to get a save. We'll just get our Feel No Pain. Black, still get a Feel No Pain. Or whoever else has a Feel No Pain. Great Unclean One is looking rather nice now. Having that 4-up Feel No Pain while he's in the Shadow of Chaos. As long as you give him the enhancement, which I wouldn't do. So, a lot of interesting things going on here. Go on down. We got the Chaos Knight. I think like some of the melee knight ended up going down. Executioner went up. Brigand went up. Huntsman went up. Yeah, the Carnival went down, and the Rampager went down. Point. Chaos Space Marines, Abaddon went up in point. And like you had a couple different speckling of things that went up. I think like Obliterators went up a little bit, not much. Not really much to complain about. The change to dev wounds helped Chaos, I want to say, because they weren't really dishing them out. But then again, I'm not 100% sure if they were or weren't. Ugh, goodness. Dark Angels, they had some points changes. They had some points dropped all over the place. Death Guard, good old Death Guard. Like I said earlier, they're looking a whole lot more appealing now. They just had points dropped like crazy. I don't think they're a horde army. They shouldn't be a horde army either. But alas, you know, it's a lot more compelling to bring, you know, a bunch of different Death Guard units, not just like running demon engines and things like that. Which is what I've heard a lot of people have been doing to kind of make their Death Guard work. Death Watch, they're dead. Drukhari, their points ended up kind of like balancing themselves out. Because of Ynnari, you can take some Drukhari units in with your Eldar, which means they're bad guys. So they need to get a points hike. Because you see those when Ynnari lists, because they have to run Drukhari stuff too. Yep. But a bunch of other Drukhari stuff dropped in points. Let's see, I think it was like just the Reavers. No, the Ravagers. It was the Ravagers. Or the Reavers. I don't know much Drukhari more. Like, 4 of their things start with R and they all look the same. Knife Ears. Gene Stealer Cult. They had points increases all across the board. No bueno. Grey Knights, they ended up actually dropping a lot of points here and there. So, like, you can end up putting in a lot more Librarians, which is what you're going to want. Because the Librarians, they can dish out the more wounds. Imperial Knights, they only changed a little bit of stuff in points. The Helvrin, the Warglaive, and Canis Rex. I'm not sure what their points were before, but the Warglaive and the Helvrin are at 150 now, and Canis is at 460. Leagues of Votan, like I was saying earlier. Go my dwarf boys! They got points drops across the board, so like I've heard a lot of people saying like their 2,000 point list, they have to go out and buy more stuff because that's how much of it has changed. Like they don't even own enough dwarves. Yes. Necrons are still going to be a problem. The top army in the game that could deal with Necrons was Eldar. There's a lot of Eldar players out right now, especially since they're doing rather well. So Necrons wasn't really the top. They got a lot more interesting choices and stuff now. I think the Lich Guard ended up going up in point, but what's it say? Oh, Quiet King. We went down to 420. And with changes to Battle Shock, or well, at least the Insane Bravery stratagem, the Silent King is going to actually do some good. I think he can be like, no, you don't. You're not Battle Shock. You're good. You're fine. Okay. Okay. So, I think we're going to end up seeing, Warriors dropping points. What the fuck? Why? the Warriors dropped in points. So I think we're gonna end up seeing a lot more Necron Warriors. End up being like a good, at least 40-man brick. 220s. I think we're gonna end up seeing Silent King a lot more. Crypto Thralls went up in points, but who cares? They're still gonna use them. Yeah. The change in the stratagem usage is going to change the reanimation, because I believe that they were using their free CP stratagem use thing to help reanimate. So it's going to slow down a little bit. I don't think it's going to slow down a lot. I don't think it's going to slow them down enough. I don't have anything to do with the 20-man unit of Necron Warriors that can just reanimate 7 times on my turn. Anyways, onwards! Orcs! Yes! Wah! The orcs. The orcs. I think just a couple things went up a little bit, but not much. I don't even know what did go up. I have been listening to stuff and trying to study all the changes all day long, and I'll tell you what, it's not easy, especially while at work. Makes it a little bit hard, or I'm having you busy. But anyways, the orc, they kind of went, they had like a side grade. They didn't really get an upgrade or downgrade. They definitely got a side grade. I'm excited for orcs. I think they're going to be the silent contender that's going to just jump out of nowhere and be like, "Ah, here we are! Wah!" And this is going to get everybody, and we're like, "Ah, you orcs, you got us!" And everybody's going to be so happy. And yeah, that's just what I'm hoping for. I love the orcs. I don't own any orcs yet. I don't feel like I could do them the justice that they deserve. I feel like on a 6-sided dice, orcs could roll 7s. Yeah. Orcs, baby. Get some walls in chat. All you orc players, orc lovers. They have Forge World points too, because they have stuff in Forge World. The big track, oh yeah, it went up in points. I believe the truck went up in points too. That's a surprise. Oh yeah, truck is now 60 points. I'm so surprised. Boost Maroons! Yay! They had all kinds of different points changes. The Ballistus Dreadnought, I think, went down. I think the Redemptor and the Brutalis. Yes. I think they also went down as well. I think the Gladiators ended up going up a little bit, because you just see them everywhere. Land Raiders went down. Land Raiders went down for Chaos. They went down for regular Space Marines. Intercessors, I think, like they went down some. Infiltrators, I think they went up a little bit. They go down. It's been a little minute since I played some Space, to be honest with y'all. But I'm definitely more compelled to bring them out, especially with Death Company being as cheap as they are. 260 points for a 10-man unit with jump pack and power fist and Inferno pistols. Yes! Supported by some ball predators, baby! Yes! That's what I'm talking about. That's the Blood Angel life for you. Let's see, yep. More Space Marines. Of course, it takes so much. Desolation Marines, like I was saying earlier, let me scroll up. Desolation Squad, 5 models, 200 points. 40 points a model. Goodbye, Desolation Marines. I'm not going to see you no more. You're just not. 5-man unit is not going to be worth. It's just not worth it. You can't shoot. You can't fire Overwatch out of line of sight anymore. They're only down to 5-man units. Oop. I'm back up to the orcs. Sorry, hit a button there. Anyways, can't fire Overwatch with them anymore because they can't shoot out of line of sight in Overwatch. Down to a 5-man unit and they're 40 points a model. No, you're not going to see him anymore. Not at all. Especially when you can get a Gladiator Lancer for 160 points. Yeah. Anyways, like I said, they changed all the points around and stuff. Oh, look at this. Check out the Outriders. And see, I don't know why they couldn't do this for everything else. I mean, sure, I understand this is adding a model. I don't know if you can see my cursor here for the Outrider squad. It has 3 models, 6 models, and Invader ATV plus 70 points. Why could you not do that with the war gear? I mean, I'm not asking you to do that with every single piece like Sergeant can take in an Intercessor squad or whatever. Like, no, I'm asking for like the Chaos Havoc squad or the Crisis Suit PAL or God, just anybody that has freaking weapon options. The support cannons for Eldar. You know, you should be able to differentiate points from war gear. I'm not asking them to go all out. You know, I'm living with the fact they're probably not going to go back to points per model, but I would love it if they started doing what they did right here with that plus 70 points for Invader ATV. You know, they could have easily just been like, oh, that's another piece of war gear. They didn't. Now I just really hope that they could do that in the future, because a heavy bolter, heavy flamer, a las cannon, and a multi-melta, the missile launcher should not cost the same point. With Eldar, like a D cannon and like those other guns or whatever the support platforms can fire, but you never see it because it's 125 points now, and no one's going to take it at that either. Especially with the changes to Overwatch and Dev Wounds. Like a little bit of granularity with the weapons would be wonderful, in my opinion. But alas, here we are. That's a little bit of hope for the future right there. Space Wolves went down a lot of points. So, you know, they got the good Space Marine treatment of, you know, having decent units. I think Terminators ended up going down a little bit too, which is pretty awesome. Wolf Scout, 85 points. Wolf Hunter, 80 points. Wolf and Dread, 130. Thunderwolf Cav. Thunderwolf Cav at 30 points. Thunderwolf Cab. Hell yeah, 30 points a model. That's pretty nice. For a 6-man unit, that's only 180 points. You got those puppies. Yes, that was a pun. With their wolf and hammers. And the thunder shields. Or their storm shields. Not thunder shields. I'm an idiot. But alas, they ended up going down a lot of points and stuff. Cow Empire, like I said, they end up going down a lot in points. I looked at my list earlier today and I went down 260 points on my list, and it had 3 crisis squads in it. So I threw 2 Riptides in there and took out like a, just strike that had as filler. And that was really, really freaking mean. So I'm excited to run some Tau again. I think like Fruit went down, but you're not going to see Fruit. You don't want to run Fruit. They really suck. Strike Team, and they went down a little bit. Breachers, they went down. Yep. Those Breachers were like 115, 110-ish. And now they're down to 90. Throw those Breachers in a Devilfish. Send them up the board with a Cadre Fireblade and blah, 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 blah. That's how you do it right there. Thousand Suns. Sorry if you're a Thousand Suns player. Magnus is still really good. The Dev Wounds thing really hurt you too. But you have other options too, and unlike the Tyranids or whatever, you can choose based on the battle list. So it's kind of like combat doc for you. Like whether you get the biggest lethal hits, sustained hits, and 4 Dev Wounds. So those are pretty good. Probably won't be going for the Dev Wounds as much unless you're just trying to take out a high toughness target or like a high armor save target. Because then you're just turning off the armor save. But then again, you're turning off the armor save anyways because you're a Thousand Suns. You're like, hey, look, you look really tough and I don't like that, so no save, no armor save for you. Oh, you don't have an invul? Well, that sucks. You're just gonna eat damage. Oh, I wounded you. It goes straight through. So yeah, 4,000 Suns. I feel like with them coming down, GSC coming down, with Custodes coming down, Eldar barely moving, Eldar is just going to be on the top. And yeah, well, at least they changed the Devastating Wounds, so it'll be at least a little bit more fun to play. So there's that. Tyranids, I know their Codex is coming out this Saturday, but these points are the ones that you're supposed to use. So behold your points. Barbgaunts, I don't know Tyranid points. I'm sorry. Wish I could say, it's like I think they went up and went down, blah blah blah. I really have no idea. No clue. No clue at all. I know Barbgaunts are really cool. Their ability to make you slow down, really good. Biovores, you really only want one model anyways, I think. Excuse me. Because their ability is to just shoot a spore mine and do action. It's just there for you literally its job. Much like my units of Nurgling. They have OC 0. I don't care about them having OC. I care about them being in that corner to do investigate signal. I care about them being in the center of the board to do area denial. You know, I care about them deep striking in the back of your deployment zone to get me behind enemy line. Or just in one of the table quarters for an all front. The biovores, they shoot out 4 mines, which help you 4 points. Very big, very important. Like I said, everything else is... I mean, they had some points changes, but looks like half of the stuff had points changes. I think the Tyran effect ended up having points changes, which really sucks for it because it changed in the codex. So you have to use the codex's data sheet, which apparently isn't as good, especially now that they upped the point for what was previously. That's kind of a feels bad, but welcome to 40K. This is your first time? Zoanthropes, I think they went up a lot of points. Everything else up. Attachment enhancement. Okay, cool. Oh, they just added the attachment enhancements for the Tyranid codex. Pretty cool. I like seeing that. I'm gonna like seeing that a lot. As soon as the other codexes and stuff start coming out, that's a nice little thing. Right there. Alright. Last but not least, World Eaters, my boys! Yes! They got a bunch of points drops, which I'm not surprised. They needed it. They were grossly overcosted. Like, what the hell were you thinking? Having Exalted 8-bound at 60 points a model? That was nuts! 50 points a model is still a little nuts. But, I mean, at least your dick's not in a jar of peanut butter now, guys. Come on. So, 8-bound, 45 points a model. Still kind of hurt. I swear, it's got to be their movement that's giving them that. Because I know it's not the toughness. It ain't that tough. Jackals, I think, went down a little bit, which is interesting. You can do... Karn went down. The Khorne Lord Skulls went down to 480 just to be like the Chaos Space Marine ones, which is good. It was like 510 before, which was just ridiculously overcosted. You know, it was definitely not doing Wraith Knight kind of thing. And the Wraith Knight is now 510. It's a Khorne Lord Skull. It's not a freaking Eldar Wraith Knight with fate dice. Come on, y'all. Demon Princes, the Demon Prince, regular Demon Prince is 200 points. Demon Prince with wings, 195. You know, that's cool. 40 Years Defiler? What? That's a thing? Throw that away. Forge Fiends, I think they went up. Hellbrute, I think it went down. Helldrake. Run Fires? What? Land Raider went down. The Worldy Lord on Juggernaut went down. Lord of Vacatus went down. It's a good day to be a wolf. Because, I mean, like their detachment rule and everything like that it's fine. I don't want to say it's good, but it's fine. It's not amazing. It's where 40K should be, in my opinion. Like, their level of detachment rule is the exact same as the Blood Angel. And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not too overpowered. It's not too underpowered. They don't have to die to get it. Four sisters and Votan. You know, so I don't know. I don't know, y'all. But anyways, what do you guys think? You know, hit that like button, that subscribe button, share with your friends. Get down there in the comment section and let me know, what do you think? What's some things that you like to see? What are some things that didn't happen that you wanted to see? You know, let me know all the things. I'm just so curious. Like, is there anything that you feel like I missed, or I just skimmed over too quickly? Let me know, because there was definitely a lot to go over. I mean, I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes straight on stream, and like at least another 30 minutes to an hour beforehand doing all the mic checks and all that good fun stuff. So, you know, I'm getting a little parched. Thank goodness I got this peanut butter milk stout. Quench the thirst. To celebrate this pretty good data balance. I feel like overall, like a lot of the changes and stuff were good changes, and I feel like overall the game is just going to benefit as a whole from this. I also feel like they didn't quite tap Eldari hard enough with the bat, but you know, it is what it is. Welcome to 40k. Is this your first time? You know, if this is your first time, you know, welcome to 40k. I'm sorry, things can be a little rough sometimes. You'll get the nerf bat, but it's okay. Trust me. It will be okay. My demons got hit a little bit. I'm not worried at all. I feel bad for Custodes players. I feel bad for GSC, for Thousand Suns. Necrons, they're gonna be fine. Necrons aren't affected by this at all. If anything, they're going to be happy because Dev Wounds got fucked. Which, to be fair, Dev Wounds should not have been as powerful and as prevalent as it was to begin. In a less killy, Dev Wounds should not have been as powerful and as prevalent as it was. But alas, here we are. And I tell you what, I'm not going to stop playing 40k. Even when the rules are shit, I'm still gonna play. I'm still gonna have fun because you know what? It's not about the competitiveness or anything like that. It's about hanging out with you guys. Because you guys are the reasons why I play 40k. And that should be your reason too, in my opinion. But anyways, it's getting to be about 9:30ish over here. Y'all seem to be a little dead in the chat. I understand. It's been a long day. If you're anything like me, you've been listening to 40k videos all day long, and all the stuff I just talked about, you've already heard like 4 times before. Anyways, everybody, have yourselves a great rest of the night. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, share button, all that good fun stuff. And remember, playing games, you're not having fun. You're doing it wrong. Come on now. Bye.